What's up, guys? Dan here on another live stream. If you guys streaming from my phone, I don't know if you can tell, computer's being a little weird, but going live here, guys. Talking about how I saved thousands of dollars furnishing my Airbnb that I just got set up. So yeah, we're going to be talking about that today. If you have any questions while we're going through this, just drop them in the comments and I'll answer them as they come. But yeah, so we're in the final stages of furnishing my first Airbnb. Happens to be in the same property that I first bought, my first rental property. And we're probably 90% of the way there in terms of getting it live, starting to get those bookings. Definitely some things that went into it that I did not foresee. So a lot of expenses that I didn't think about. They just come with furnishing a property. And guys, it's definitely quite a bit more involved than just traditional rentals. With furnishing a property and getting everything set up and actually making things pretty nice. Just a lot of tedium, a lot of details. A lot of like decorating and things like that are different skill sets that you'll need to employ when setting something up. And I do think that it is a great skill that we're learning here, and it's new and challenging, but I'm learning more skills, and as a result, it's going to increase my income significantly, and also allow us to have a lot more opportunities with future projects for those to make more income. So today we're going to be going into details on a few of the different things that helped me save a lot of money furnishing my Airbnb. That's going to be your biggest expense, in addition to, of course, getting the property. And so we're going to be talking about those things today and just kind of going over line by line, like the exact things that I did and some strategies that I employed to lower my costs while still getting, good value and nice stuff. And, going over some of the different strategies for, how much money you want to put in your Airbnb, how quality you want to get it, right? Because you might want to put less money in, but just, make less rent overall. Or you might want to go really over the top and have a really premium luxury listing. So yeah, let's go ahead and get right into that, guys. Yeah, if you're tuning in, please drop an "I'm here" or something like that. We're going to be doing these streams on various topics every single Tuesday, guys. So drop it in there. We'll check out different times and things like that. But even if nobody comes, feel free to watch the recording. They're always really great. But yeah. So for this Airbnb, what we did is I really wanted to go and make a higher end Airbnb. I really wanted to have a Airbnb I could really be proud of, that I'd want to stay in, that people would really be excited about going and staying there. And a couple reasons for that. In this area that we're in, the people that are going to be coming here to stay in the Airbnb will likely be for, there's a wedding venue nearby that's very popular. And so I think a lot of people will be coming for that on the weekends. It's pretty much booked every single weekend. So I think families, brides' families and that kind of things will be coming for the wedding venue. This wedding venue is pretty high end. And so that leads me to believe that we're going to have a high-end customer coming into the marketplace, as well as we have a lake nearby people like to vacation at. And the other main customer or client that we'll have probably is working professionals, which would be like contractors, traveling nurses, things like that. I don't know if this, I know I have some friends that have other Airbnbs that are attracting those folks. I don't know if this one will or not, but I definitely hope so. And it's going to be a great place for them to stay. So those are the kind of people. And so with that in mind, you also want to think about your occupancy, how many people you can have in your dwelling. Typically, I think it's 2 per bedroom is the max Airbnb will let you set. I'm sure you can do more, but you can have like a bed and an air mattress or a pull-out or something like that. But for my place, it's going to hold a max of 8 people. And another thing to think about is, the bigger the space that you get, you can charge more per night, but it's going to cost a lot more to furnish, right? So like the bigger it is, the more expensive it gets to furnish. And I think, a lot of people focus on smaller, and maybe this isn't true, maybe it's not, but I think the sweet spot going forward would probably be more smaller spaces overall, because like this, we're furnishing this half duplex. It's a 3-bedroom half duplex. It's probably 12 to 1,500 square foot. It's quite a lot of space, and it'll hold a lot of people. And we'll be able to charge a lot per night. But with that, I bought 3 king beds. I bought, you have to put photos up so basically, as your costs, or as your space gets bigger, your expenses, grow as well. So, in comparison, like we have an apartment that we're probably going to turn into an Airbnb, and it's going to be like a 500 square foot, like 1-bedroom apartment. It'll hold probably 4 people for an evening, but it's probably going to be a lot less than it would cost to furnish an 8-person dwelling, if that makes sense. So keep that in mind, guys, when you go to plan your first Airbnb. There's a lot of expenses that I didn't think about going into it. I'm not the homemaker decorator type. That doesn't mean that I can do that or something like that, but definitely not my strong suit coming out the gate. So going into it, I enlisted the help of other folks that were better at decorating and really making a space feel like a home, because that's really important. I would, probably a lot of people booking these things are going to be women, especially for like wedding venues and things like that. And even so, you want to make a homey space, and you really want to make people feel like they're in a good, clean, homey space where they can really relax and enjoy things. And so that's what we tried to do. So, let's get into the cost saving tip number 1, and that would be your furnishings, whether it be your couches, all the furniture in the house, the couches, the beds, everything like that, guys. And the first and pretty obvious way to save a lot of money here, guys, is I would buy like used, or buy from like outlet stores or liquidators or things like that, where your prices, the quality of the furniture and the furnishings are pretty much as good as new, if not exactly the same. Just for whatever reason, you're getting it from a secondhand type of store or person, and as such, the cost is a lot less, right? So, if you're still buying from a store, there's profit motive. And like I got one of our beds and all of the bed frames and stuff from a liquidation furniture store, and perfectly all brand new, all just as good as Nebraska Furniture Mart or something like that, but it probably cost me a half to a third of the price of retail, just because I bought it in a different spot. Same thing with like furniture and stuff. You can get a lot of couch sets or tables and chairs, like things that like people like, and especially from if you go to like higher end, look on Facebook Marketplace, look on Craigslist, like especially if you're shopping, you find something that's in a high end area, that like some things are pretty self-explanatory, like a table and chair set, for instance. It's pretty hard to mess that up or for it to be faulty. I am going to buy that used all day long, because those things can be, if you go to buy those retail, table and chairs, a big one, it's going to cost potentially, thousands of dollars, right? Like I think I paid, $250 for a really nice table and chair set from a private seller on Facebook. Yeah, it's going to take maybe a couple more trips running around to pick these things up. But that time that you're spending is going to literally save you thousands of dollars that you would have had to spend, buying retail. So, I would definitely shop around, especially on things like appliances and stuff like that. There's guys out there like I don't know if you might already have appliances, but you're going to probably want a washer dryer in your Airbnb, and obviously things like I redid did a unit turn on the unit, which is not necessarily an expense of the Airbnb, because you might want to turn over your unit anyway. But I, did granite countertops, painted everything white, put in stainless appliances, and I bought all the appliances used. I bought brand new Samsung washer dryer set from a guy that I know that gets these things like scratch and dent and out of the back door of these box stores, and just makes sure they work and fixes whatever's wrong with them, and then resells them for massive discounts. I bought a washer dryer set for $600 brand new, and that would cost probably double at the box store. So that's, $700 there. And then the other thing with buying, used is you're saving money on sales tax, right? So that's what that's another 10% probably that you're saving right off the top by just buying person to person. Now, obviously, there has to be a bit of trust involved. Try to buy from sellers that you have rapport with, or that you can, verify to an extent what they have. But that is a great way to get awesome deals on stuff. I mean, I bought a Samsung dishwasher for $200, and really use your head with these things, because like things that can break or that are hard to verify when buying something like appliances, you really want to think about like, okay, why is this person selling this item? And there's some good reasons why somebody might sell a perfectly good appliance. Like in this case, I bought this washer for a really cheap price because they had redone their kitchen and it came out of a really high-end house in a good neighborhood. And so I'm like, okay, they probably took care of it. They probably did just swap it out, because that's what people do. They just, swap out perfectly good stuff to put in some other thing that's the new style. And so I just took the gamble, like, hey, this is going to cost me, $600-800 to go buy this dishwasher brand new. So I'll risk the $200 to get it used. And, there's a pretty high chance that it's going to be good. I mean, I know where the guy lives. I mean, not that I would go back there, but, it's just like there's certain, you have to factor these things in when buying stuff. So there's that, guys. And I would that's great ways to get awesome deals on furniture, appliances, that sort of thing. That's gonna be your biggest expense, guys. One tip that I did is with the decorations, guys. So this, decorations are really you want to have some kind of theme in your Airbnb, and they can be pretty subjective. And they can also be very expensive, like buying wall art or quote signs and all this mirrors and things like that. Like to go to a box store like At Home or Hobby Lobby or whatever it is, where they sell this stuff retail. I mean, that stuff can get really expensive really fast. And because again, they have a profit motive, right? They, all the little like knick-knacky things, that you want to just like put on the tables and stuff, like it's a lot of just like miscellaneous stuff that really like, it's those things that you don't ever really think about, but like they help create the environment. And so one strategy that I used that is kind of a combo with the buying the appliances used is that when I would go, like I bought this range, this stainless steel range and microwave from a gal, and I went over to her house, and again, I try to buy, if I see an appliance and like it, if I can, I try to buy from higher end neighborhoods, just because, and if you're buying higher end stuff, that's probably going to come out of higher end neighborhoods to begin with. But, they usually have good stuff in there as well, because again, people are just like this gal, she was selling her range of microwave perfectly good, looked brand new, because she was just redoing the kitchen, right? So like she just wanted to put in an even nicer set of stuff. And so, but I was like, hey, do you have, I'm furnishing an Airbnb, do you have anything that is, that you want to sell, like wall art, decorations, whatever, right? And she's like, oh yeah, I've got this painting and this mirror and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh great. So I go over there and it's all just in a pile, right? It's stacked against the wall. Because again, she's like, and the difference here is that, you go into a store, like they have to make money, right? But if you go into somebody's house and you're buying something from them, like they want to get rid of it. It is taking, if it's not like what they want on the wall or what they want in their house, like they just want it gone. They don't want to mess with it. And so you can get really great deals, pretty much like going to a garage sale, but it's like an off-market garage sale. Okay, you're going in there and you're buying up all their decorations and stuff at like, you know, pennies on the dollar of what it would cost you to buy the same things from a box store. Like a mirror, like I put a couple things in my house that like, you know, they would probably cost $150, $200 maybe. I think I bought them for like $50, right? So it's just like, it's just like you can really, you know, it just saves costs all the way around to do it like that. Now maybe, you know, slightly less convenient, you know, it might take a little bit more time, but like literally, you know, you go on Facebook for a few days in a row, and if you got a pickup truck or a van, like you can buy everything you'd ever need, you know, that's in good condition as well. So those are the biggest tips I have for you guys. Let me think if I have anything else. You know, there's other things I would partner with. So one thing I did is I actually hooked up with another investor in my area that has a few Airbnbs, and he happened to be shutting one of his Airbnbs down and turning it back into a long-term rental for whatever reason. And he offered to sell me seller finance all of the furnishings out of it. So he actually sold me a couple beds, a couple couches, and a bunch end tables and a bunch of other stuff at a really good price. He even financed it for me, and cut me a good deal because, you know, pretty much at his cost or a little less, because, you know, he didn't need the furniture. I mean, it's a good deal for him because, you know, he has to store or sell individually all this stuff, or he can sell it all to me in bulk. And it's a good deal for me because I don't have to go out and find all this stuff to go and put into my property, right? So, and so you guys might do that, you know, hit up your local meetups groups or your Facebook groups and be like, hey, is there any other Airbnb investors looking to, you know, sell some of their furniture or something like that? Because even like right now, like if somebody offered to buy some of my furniture, I'd sell it to them because I've got a bunch of extra that I've accumulated from, you know, all the people that have like donated furniture. I bought some extra furniture, ended up not using it. And so I'm sure if somebody's investing in Airbnbs and they're setting a bunch of them up, they probably have some excess furnishings laying around that for what, you know, like if it didn't fit the style or whatever. So I would reach out to some of those guys and see if they have some stuff that they'd sell you because, you know, at least for me, you know, maybe some people are different, but I don't really want to be in the furniture selling business and the appliance and furniture dealing business. And I doubt other Airbnb investors want to too. So they would probably be delighted to give you a great deal on some pretty nice furnishings and furniture if you were to reach out and ask them. I'll probably employ this strategy going forward, you know, and seeing if people have some, because I'd love to help and buy from other investors as much as possible and help them while they help me build those relationships. That's a great way to do business. And so that's a strategy you can employ too, is just hit up other investors that are doing Airbnb, you know, especially ones that are in other parts of town or where they're really not like direct competitors with you, and see, you know, if they would help you by, you know, for helping you provide you with furnishings and things like that. That could be a great way to save some money as well. And save you a lot of time because, you know, you're just one-stop shopping the whole deal. All right, what else do we have? So we've gone over the furnishings. Another thing, I bought a lock, a Encode Schlage Sense smart lock from another investor. He sold it to me. He has a bunch of Airbnbs he manages it, and he upgraded all of his locks, so he has all these perfectly good locks that just didn't work with his software, and he sold it to me for basically half of retail because he can't use them, right? But they're still worth something, so he hasn't thrown them away. And so he, you know, sold one to me, got $150. I got a lock at half price, right? So everyone's winning because, again, a lot of these investors, like, we don't, you know, it's not a priority to, you know, we don't want to be in the like fixture selling business, right? So going out and trying to list all this stuff on Facebook or whatever, you know, dealing with it, like there's other things we could do, like find another real estate deal, right? So if you come along and you're like, hey, I'd love to, you know, buy a bunch of your furniture and locks and things like that and everything I'm going to need, they're probably going to be delighted because they got a bunch of extra stuff, you know, sitting in the garage that they're not using, and they would love to just get rid of it, but they just don't want to. It's worth something, but they don't want to take the time to go sell it. So you can come along and buy it all up and you get a good deal, they get a great deal, and everybody wins. So that's another strategy that you can employ that I'll probably try to do. I'm sure that'll be highly effective, with a lot of projects that we do going forward. Yeah, but that's basically the core of it. Um, you know, I would prefer to let's see, what are the things that we do? For a lot of the things, the smaller stuff like the linens and things like that, there may be companies out there where you can buy in bulk. I'm not at that point yet, but we checked like Amazon prices versus like Walmart, and Amazon had a lot better deals on things like sheets and stuff like that. I would buy comforter sets with like all of the throw pillows and stuff included, just because it's cheaper than buying things piecemeal. If you can establish relationships with companies and buy, in bulk or something like that, do that as much as you can. That would be great. So there's all sorts of things like that you can do as well, guys. Use stuff you have if you can, like TVs and stuff. If you have stuff that are spare that matches, like if you have a bunch of furnishings in your house, like maybe you can afford to put them in your own Airbnb if it looks nice. So those are some things you can do. Keep that in mind, guys. But yeah, if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comments, guys. And I think if not, I think that's the core of it for this one. And if I think any, I'll make more videos. But that's pretty good for now, guys. We're going to be streaming every Tuesday at 3 o'clock. And guys, we have an event tomorrow at the Outlaw Cigar Bar and Brewery at 6 to 8 p.m. Come and visit, see me in person. We're going to have a few speakers there, going to be sharing a lot of value with you guys. And it's going to be a great time. We're going to be serving food. You can get your drink on, get your smoke on if you want. And it's going to be just a great old time. So go check that out, guys. We'll see you soon. And with that, Dan Cohan, we'll see you guys in the next video.